Hi everyone. I wanted to take a few minutes to talk about a key component of our leadership strategies course, the four frames. So what are four frames? Why are we doing four frames? Why is this important? How does it matter? What does it relate to strategy? These may be questions that you're having, and so it's important to understand the value of doing them and sort of have a basic understanding of what the four frames are as we move forward into the course. So why four frames? Well, think about a time when you were talking to someone and they had a really similar perspective to you. And that's oftentimes kind of enjoyable because you can build off of each other. They may bring something slightly different, but you're able to connect really well and easily and speak sort of the same language. Now consider a time when there was an issue or a concern and someone else had a very different perspective than you, and their reactions were completely unorthodox or in not aligned with how you were reacting to the same situation. So what's going on there? I mean, we can look at it from an organizational behavior perspective and look at personalities and traits and how these things can shape our understanding of the world. The reality is we can also look at the four frames that we also use to look at the world. So the four frames allows leaders to not only understand themselves in terms of what comes naturally to them and how they frame their understanding of a situation, but also how others are framing the situation for themselves and their understanding. And when you get really good at it, then as a leader, you can apply all four frames depending on the situation and depending on what's going on, depending on those who you're working with and how you need to connect effectively with them. So it's important to understand the sort of different lenses through which you can look at complex situations. So the four frames, so as you can see, it's important to understand the different ways in which we can perceive a situation and then speak in a language that works with those that we're connecting with, so that we can effectively lead them through that situation. So the four frames are the structural frame, the human resource frame, the political frame, and the symbolic frame. So the structural frame is all about the rational side of things. These are the folks who are looking at how things are done, how things are made, how things are built, how things are structured, goals, and how you get there. That's the structural frame, and that's the structural lens through which you can understand the world. The human resource frame is all about relationships and in an organization, it's basically like a family. There's wants and needs and attitudes and skills and value that people bring as individuals to an organization. The political frame looks at the power dynamics in an organization. So this would be the lens through which you're looking at, well, who's an expert in this that we can trust, and can we trust these people, and who should we build an alliance with, and who's out to get us, and those sorts of things, and how are we going to battle for scarce resources. That's the political frame through which you can understand the world. And then there's the symbolic frame, which is about making meaning of belonging to something. There's drama, there's stories, there's rituals, there's the culture, and all of these elements that create meaning for individuals within organizations. So even by my describing these four frames, you might think to yourself, oh, this one makes the most sense to me, and there might be a couple where you're like, that's ridiculous. I don't understand why someone would do that. But the reality is everyone holds these various perspectives. And so as leaders, it's really important to understand that and then use these frames to lead and encourage and motivate and engage and effectively lead others from whatever we are in to wherever it is that we need to go. So hopefully that makes sense. If you have any questions about the four frames or about the assessment that you do for yourself and your results, please feel free to reach out. I can be reached at kcochran with no E at uvic.ca. I hope you guys are doing well, and I'll see you online.